And welcome everyone to Gate to Wire. I'm Bruce Casella along with Dani Gibson, and we have our special guest, Hall of Famer at Parks, Jack Armstrong, the thoroughbred owner. Welcome, Jack.
Hi, Bruce. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, buddy.
You too.
Jack is one of my favorite owners for many reasons. Jack, remember when you had the lucky T-shirt that you donated to Turning for Home?
Yeah, I don't think the donations went over very well, Dani, but yes, I do remember that. I still have it.
I
Thank you.
love that shirt. Jack, getting into horse racing, being an owner is not an everyday thing. Can you just tell us like how you got into it?
Yeah, sure. I was working with a guy right here in Bensalem, and he owned a horse. So he's like, "Hey, my horse is running. Why don't you come to the track, watch it run?" I'm like, "All right, yeah, no problem. Sounds like fun." Came, watched his horse, and it was pretty cool. So I'm like, "Man, it was pretty cool with it being his horse." I'm like, if it's my horse, this might really be cool. So started off with one and, quickly escalated from one. So, but I loved it from day one. So,
You start off about, I guess, each year with an average around 22 horses. Is that correct?
yeah, it fluctuates, Bruce. But yeah, for the last 2, 3, 4 years, I'd probably be anywhere between 20 and 25. A couple might get claimed before you add them back. But yeah, that's a good number. Yeah, right in there.
Jack,
Do you,
talk to us about the business of ownership. How do you keep track of all that?
Well, I have everything's written on my phone, my horses. I kind of know what they're eligible for race wise. You check some books out. Usually the trainer will do most of that. I mean, I'm at the point now where I do get a little involved with picking spots and, looking around and stuff like that. But it's not that much. I mean, just keep it on top of things, little maintenance, little recording, just keeping things straight.
so you have to remember, what was it first time that, you won a race as an owner and the feelings, and did it get you hooked? I'm sure it did
Oh yeah,
because you've
it
been
did.
so many years later.
So looking back, Dani, my first horse, I claimed him and he had all kinds of problems, which now I understand that because he didn't run back for like 6 months. So I'm like, okay, all right. I don't know any better at that time, but yeah, I think he won his second start. Laureano Flores Senior rode him.
Nice.
Um, and I think it was a beaten 4,000 back in 1999 here at Parks. So, but yeah, it was a thrill. And like I said, I started adding more and more horses pretty much right away.
Do you have a lot of pressures as an owner?
Well, paying the bills would be number one. When you have as many horses as I do, and the bills can add up pretty quick. Um, I recently went through a stretch where a lot were on the farm or unable to be entered because they were claimed at another track, not eligible to run here. So that's coming to an end. So, but yeah, just basically making the bills. You know, I think I'm pretty good with my money. So, if I hit a bad stretch, I can weather the storm. I'm not one of them guys who runs out and spends every dollar I make and create more bills and stuff. I always have a little bit of an eye for the future.
No, that's awesome. Do you you've had some really good money earners. Cortage made a $250,000, Emirates Affair, Counter Spy who runs today. Do you have a favorite horse that kind of sentimental to you?
Those couple, Dani, for sure, because they're just runners. A horse I had, Center Court Champ, is still running. I bought her as an unraced maiden. I got to name her. I watched her progress all the way through, so that was pretty cool, and where for a long time you're the only owner, she was pretty neat and a good racehorse on top of it. But yeah, like some of the favorites aren't always just the ones to make the money. Some of them have their own little personality and they try hard even if they don't always win. That you're like, okay, every day when you come to races, you're gonna have a chance to root for that horse, even if it doesn't win or whatever, it'll give you a thrill. So
No, Jack, you're what's good about the business. I know I work closely with Turning for Home, and you've always been a big supporter. You're always, happy to retire your horses, doing the best thing for them. So we need more owners like you to be loud and proud in our industry.
well, that's a great program. So you guys know I'm on the board and we recently increased the money for stuff like that, which is much needed for you guys. It's a great program. To as an owner to not have to worry
Right.
what hands your horse ends up with when it's done its racing career is like Bruce was just one less pressure, Bruce, because that taking that off the table is huge. So it's great that you guys find them great good homes.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Do you spend any time back in the barn area getting to know your horses?
Not too much, Bruce. I kind of feel like I don't want to get in the way of my trainers doing their job. Um, so I kind of steer clear of that. There's been times when I'll claim a horse out of state and bring it to parks and it'll be on the walk over and I'm like, oh, I have a gray horse. Like, oh, I didn't even realize it till it's walking to the paddock. But no, like I said, I don't want to get in the way, especially now with all these rules. I'd be half worried about feeding the horse a mint or something too close to a race with the way these testing and everything else that you're not allowed to do now. So
Yeah.
in the beginning more so, but now not at all, pretty much. No.
No, I'm the same way. Some of your trainers that you work with, Phil Aristone, Scott Lake, Bobby Moscow, talk about the partnerships and the trust that you have with these guys. You've been with them a long time and you've had a lot of success with all three.
Oh yeah, all three at this point are way beyond. It's not an employee-employer relationship. They're all like friends, brothers, whatever to me. Yeah, so it's way beyond that. I mean, that might not work for some people, but it works for me. Those guys are great. They're great trainers in my mind. They're great human beings. So, it's easy to get along with them. I think I'm an easy owner to deal with. So I think if you talk to them, hopefully they would say the same thing. Maybe not always, but whatever. But no, those guys are great. They do a good job. They're honest, and that's all I can ask for.
Who gives bad news the best?
Um, I don't know about that, Danny. I've probably gotten the most bad news from Bobby because I have the more horses with Bobby at any
Yeah.
particular time. Bobby's pretty straight right to it, no beating around the
Yes.
bush. Like, call, answer, and within 8 seconds, I know that my horse needs 4 months off. Like, there's no beating around the bush. He's right to it. So that's fine. That's fine.
That's
For
his
new
important.
people, for new people in the business or want to get in the business, what goes into selecting a trainer?
That's a good question, Bruce. I mean, I would say, I don't know how you're getting involved. If you're getting involved through a friend or something, I would suggest going partners maybe. Don't foot the whole bill. Whoever you get involved with can maybe teach you a little bit about the game, and then you can decide for yourself if that's something for you to do on your own.
Yeah.
Um, Trainers, I mean, listen, there's different criteria. I mean, you can go down by percentages and say, I just want the best trainer. Um, but for me in the beginning, um, I wanted to learn. So for me to be with a guy who trained 200 horses and he wouldn't have time to talk to me and explain things to me. So I wanted to learn. So I was with Bobby pretty early on, and he was great with that stuff. He taught me so much. He had the time to do it and stuff. So I would say, Bruce, that's a tough question. There's a lot of things to look at, but I would say, just build a relationship, see if that person, their personality, and how they are works for you, and then go from there.
Yeah. Do you have a proudest moment seeing those lime and black silks cross the finish line?
Nah, picking them silks, Danny, is probably one of the best things I've done in racing. Since then, it's all downhill.
I love your silks. It's
Yeah,
Jack Armstrong.
I always like green. I always like black. I'm like, let me do the lime. That might be easy to pick out maybe during the race. So many people have red and blue and black, So I was like, let me pick a color that maybe I can see my horse down the back side pretty easily. So now I mean, everybody knows that's me at this point. I think as many horses that I have, as many years as I've been around. But no, Danny, just to me, I'm a claiming guy. So when you claim a horse with a certain race in mind, or I could stretch this one out, maybe this one wants a sprint, and you do it and the horse responds and you win a race maybe a little higher than what you claimed it for, or maybe even an allowance race like that's what gets me going. That's what I always look for.
Yeah.
So those moments are the good ones for me.
What about Counter Spy, who ran a really good fourth to Mindframe, who is going to go into be one of the favorites in the Classic this year?
Yeah, he's a really nice horse. His last couple, he kind of things didn't go his way. But from day one, when I claimed him, Bobby was telling me how he trains great, and we've had some luck with him. We've been lucky to get in the right races, and a couple of times we were low in speed, so things like that. But yeah, he's been great. I mean, if they were all like that, I mean, geez, but that's certainly not the case.
Jack, you're a member of the Parks Hall of Fame. What was that like getting into the Hall of Fame? And you got to be so proud of that.
Yeah, Bruce. I mean, of course I am. I mean, never even thought it would be possible. I mean, I didn't grow up around horses. There wasn't a family member that owned them or trained them or anything like that. So the whole thing was pretty foreign to me until, other than watching them on TV or something like that. I grew up in Ben Salem. I knew Parks was here, stuff like that. But to get in with basically no knowledge, I'm some people will tell you right now I'm only a little above zero anyway. But I think I surrounded myself with some good people, and that's always a good start. And then I just try to be competitive and put my horses in the right race. So when you get rewarded over years and years of doing that, and they say you're picked for the Hall of Fame, it was it was great.
Yeah. I mean, this is your home track and you're recently married. How's it like getting your wife to like get into this and love this with you? I see Adrian comes with you and seems like she's really starting to get into it.
She's great. I mean, from again, her probably didn't know anything other than Jack owns horses, so but she'll come, she'll watch at home, we'll watch. I'll tell her I'm trying to claim one, she'll watch the race with me, you know, but she's pretty knowledgeable for only being around for maybe in the horses for a year and a half, 2 years at the most. She's already picking it up pretty quick, um, which is great because I dedicate a lot of time to checking out horses, watching races, online, looking for new ones to claim and all. So she's been great with all that, and it's great to have her come to the races and show some support. And um, just the other night we won one. We're watching it from home, and it was a pretty close race. I think we won by half a length or something. And she at the end she gives out a big yeah, which is not like her. She's very even keel. But it was like, wow, even Adrian got excited on that one. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, we always love to see you in the winner's circle. It's very special, and I know you're always happy about that. Dani, anything else you want to ask Jack?
No, I just have a lot of respect for Jack and how he operates his ownership group. And I think a lot of owners could take, a lesson in how you do things. And you're what's right in our industry. So,
Well, I appreciate that, Dani. We could use some new owners. Hopefully the new owners come into the game and do the right thing by the horse and respect the game and
yep.
do things right. So that, if that means a lot to me, and if I can help anybody else along the way, I'm easy to find front side.
Yeah.
Everybody can always find me.
All right, Jack. Well, thank you for joining us on Gate to Wire. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a great week. See you in the
You
winner's
too.
circle.